My name is Russ Goldston, and I'm with IM1 Bioenergetics in Atlanta, Georgia. One of my greatest awakenings to what was going on in the medical community was with the birth of my daughter, who was born 1 pound 15 ounces. And by the time she was 3 years old, she'd had 43 surgeries. Along that journey, we found many ups and downs as we worked with staff, as we worked with insurance companies, as we worked with coordinating different factions of doctors, because everybody is in their own area. So we had to coordinate this set of doctors with the gastrointestinal doctors, with the regular doctors, and I mean there was a lot of things that were going on, and we just really it really was a live demonstration for me on just how dysfunctional the medical system really is. And really many times it's not until we have to be fully immersed into the system and when we're totally reliant upon it that we really see the cracks and the holes in the system. So my journey with her along these surgeries was just an amazing experience, because as we went through each aspect, there was always some other hurdle to go through. And so many times we were totally reliant upon the information that we were given. I ended up separating from her mother at that period of time, and that was when I was having my own awakening, and that was when I ended up actually traveling to Israel. I became part of a holistic community that basically we grew our own food, we had own schooling, we had to create our own medical and preventative health ministries within the communities, because we didn't necessarily have access to the public Israel system, so the health system. So through necessity, I began to learn naturopathic ways of dealing with different issues, simple headaches, colds, flu, just the basic things. I learned natural herbs and remedies that allowed me to be able to have a greater understanding on how the human body works. And what greater teacher than your own body? So I utilize my own body as my teaching tool, and I experimented with different herbs and exercises and meditation and different aspects of life to remove the stress, because I realized that I was my biggest enemy. It was me, through the way that I was processing my thoughts, the way I was processing different aspects of my life. I needed to add exercise. I needed to, even though I was part of a vegan diet, just because you're vegan doesn't mean you're healthy. You can be a vegan and not eat animal products and still eat a bunch of chemicals and still eat a bunch of starches, and you can go into health challenges. So it's not just about being a vegan, it's about addressing, the whole body, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, as well as physically. And it came one night, I was sitting in my room and I wanted to figure out, what am I going to do with my life? How do I want to move forward? Because I was tired of corporate America. I mean, I had a family business. Our family business was in food service, but I realized that, to be honest, that the food that we were serving, it wasn't the best of the food that you could, that we would want to give to humanity. And so I realized that, okay, I cannot make a living giving people food that's been overly processed, that has all these chemicals in it, because I knew what it was doing from what it did to me in my own personal experience. So how can I then justify myself going forward in life, and I'm going to serve people food that I already know is not good for them? So I said, let me get on the opposite side of the fence. Let me get on the side of the fence of helping people. And since I was able to go through my own healing journey, and NES had been part of that healing journey and exposed me to a whole nother understanding of health and wellness, I said, let me try this. So it had really literally gotten all the way to the point where I really only had $150 to my name. And I went, and for $149, I signed up for the initial NES trial. I have a case where a mother came to me and she was pretty distraught. She had recently, within the last year, divorced her husband. It was a difficult divorce. It was a difficult relationship that they were in. And she had a 14-year-old son. And she brought the son to me. Well, she called me first because, and this is really interesting. She actually called me because she said that she went to her psychic, and her psychic told her that she needed to find a NES Health practitioner in order to work with her son in order to get through his issues. He was very, very negative. I mean, he was having huge, like, anger outburst. I mean, really intense anger outbursts. And he was really pretty much kind of uncontrollable, by his mom in some instances. So she was reaching out, and so the psychic actually told her to go find a NES practitioner. So she went through the NES locator. She found me. I just happened to live only a few miles from where her son goes to baseball practice all the time. So she was able to bring him by, not at his own will. She made up, I just needed you to come and speak to this man for a second. And so we set it up. I wasn't going to, all I did was have him put his hand on the scanner for the 15 seconds, let him do the scan, and she picked him up and she left. And she came back. And then she called me back later, and we actually went through the scan because he was so difficult. And even when she went to the car, he had a big anger explosion, like, why did you take me in there? And what are you trying to do to me? And so I went through, and when I went through the scan, I noticed that all the aspects, looking at his stomach area, he came up on there as family issues was a 4, which is a high priority and needed a support. So all the things were there. He had some other gastrointestinal. His pancreas was in need of support. Spleen was at high priority. And I looked at all this and I said, I mean, this kid's insides are basically turned inside out. I mean, if all this is going on in his GI tract and in his digestive aspects, I mean, he has to be miserable. I mean, there's no way this kid could be happy. Like, there's emotional issues going on. He's stressed. He's worried. It's family issues, which is pancreas is family. That's where your family issues show up is in your pancreas. And so as I was able to send the infoceuticals to him, his mom started, putting them in his drinks, and he kind of, first couple of things, he's like, there's something in this water. What are you doing to me? What are you trying to, and he really had a temper tantrum about it. And then, like, about the third day, she kept giving it to him. And then she called me around day 10, and she's like, you're not going to believe it. She's like, I almost have my son back. Like, his attitude, he had started taking the infoceuticals. He was looking forward to them every morning. Where are my infoceuticals? He was drinking them. So he's back to the loving kid that he was. He hugs his mom. He's not. I mean, he has the brotherly thing with his younger brother. They still do that, but it wasn't getting to the extreme. So just to see, because the mother, she was under a lot of stress. And to see the stress on her, and then, of course, I was able to put her on infoceuticals, so they were on at the same time. So her progress and unwinding and seeing his progress, and then just seeing their relationship come together out of that whole process. And this is one scan, one set of infoceuticals, and within the first 30 days, they're resolved as a family. As we look at the current times, the American Medical Association has actually come out with statistics stating that 84% of all illness at the core is it's emotionally based. And I can tell you from my practice, from dealing with the individuals that I've dealt with over the years, I can tell you that 100% of all of our situations in illness are emotional at the core. And that's why bioenergetics is so key, and the study of bioenergetics is so key, because we actually deal with the energy aspect. If we really look at it, 2% of us is actual physicality. 2% is actual physical. So when you go to your allopathic doctor, they're actually working on that part of you that is 2% of the story. When you step over into the world of bioenergetics, you can deal with the other 98% that is the root cause of where these issues take place. So by us being able to go in and deal with emotions through frequency, through light frequency stored in water, which is what infoceuticals are, through the frequencies that are emitted from the PMF from the mihealth device. I also use other lasers and other devices that emit frequencies, and the objective is to support the human body field in its own healing journey. That is all we do. We bring balance to life. We bring balance to our patients. All we're doing is balancing your energy so that you can find balance in life. And that's what I do in my practice at I Am One Bioenergetics. I help you balance your energy so that you can have balance in your life. My advice to any practitioner out there is, number one, consider the energy aspect. If you're not into the energy already, understand that we have a human body field, and that human body field is the master control system of our physicality. And with the tools like NES, we are able to interact with that body field, which we know to be our best doctor. And with your clients, you can always be assured that when you do that NES scan, when that body field is measured, you can trust the scan. You can completely trust the scan and go with the recommendations of the scan, and you can be assured that you will find improvement. Your patients, your clients, they will improve themselves. They will improve in their well-being because you're supporting them with the right information. I mean, the basis of our understanding is that the reason that we run into dis-ease and situations is simply because we have a breakdown in information and energy. And with NES, with using this system, we have the ability to correct that information, assess that information, and redirect energy as we need to using the mihealth device on our patients. It is the core of it. My entire practice is based around NES. NES is the core, and then there's everything else that I add to it that supports. So those who are making a decision whether you want to see a next practitioner, I definitely recommend that you do so, because the technology and the information you receive, it's priceless. As those who maybe want to become a practitioner, definitely bring NES into your system. It is a great benefit for your practice. The information that your clients receive, you're able to treat the whole client, not just a portion, not just a section, but the whole client: mind, body, and spirit. Thank you.